Donald Trump's at it again, folks, taking aim at Canada with some jaw-dropping claims that could shake up North America. He's calling them nasty negotiators, floating wild ideas like Canada becoming the 51st U.S. state, and tossing out numbers that make your head spin. Is this just Trump being Trump, or is there truth behind the bluster? Today, we're diving deep, step by step, into what he said, what it means, and whether it holds water. Buckle up, because this is the Pulse Unraveled, and we're cutting through the noise. Let's start with the man himself. Here's Trump from a recent global news clip.
With Canada, we don't need their cars, we don't need their lumber, we don't need their energy, we don't need anything from Canada, and yet it costs us $200 billion a year in subsidy to keep Canada afloat. So when I say they should be a state, I mean that. I really mean that, because we can't be expected to carry a country that is right next to us on our border. It would be a great chance that Canada's charging our dairy farmers. They have 270% tariffs. Nobody knows that. It would be a cherished thing. The taxes for Canadian citizens would go down in less than half. They don't spend money on military because they think we're going to protect them. There are many things that they do, like icebreakers. They want us to provide icebreakers for them. Oh, that's wonderful. So, Canada, they're very tough traders too. I want to just tell you, all the people, they're tough traders. They trade very tough. And Canada has been a very nasty negotiator against the United States, took advantage of the United States for a long time.
Canada's a nasty negotiator. Very tough traders. Been taking advantage of us for years. That's the spark that lit this fire. He's not just venting, he's got a whole narrative. Canada's freeloading off a $200 billion U.S. subsidy. Their tariffs are choking us, and maybe, just maybe, they should join the U.S. as a state. Bold, right? But let's break it down, point by point, and see what's real. First up, this $200 billion subsidy Trump says the U.S. is shelling out to keep Canada afloat. It's a massive number. $200 billion with a B. He's serious about it, doubling down in his talks. But where's it from? Is it cash we're handing over? Trade perks? Military protection? Trump doesn't spell it out, and that's a red flag. So, let's look at the facts. In 2023, the U.S. Trade Representative says we sold Canada $368 billion in goods. Think cars, tech, food, while they sent us $350 billion back, like oil and lumber. That's an $18 billion edge for us, not a $200 billion handout. If anything, Canada's buying more from us than we're buying from them. So, is this subsidy real, or just Trump turning up the volume for effect? You tell me. Does that sound like freeloading to you? Now here's where it gets wild. Trump says Canada should become the 51st state. I really mean that, he insists. Why? He's framing it like the US is carrying Canada, paying too much, getting too little. He's dangled this idea before, like in 2018 when he half-joked it to Justin Trudeau. But is it fair to say, we help you, so ditch your country? Canada's been its own nation since 1867, over 150 years of history, its own flag, its own story. Imagine someone telling the US, hey, thanks for trading with us, now you're our province. Ridiculous, right? And what's he offering? Lower taxes, less than half, he claims, and US muscle like building their icebreakers. But here's the catch. Canada's got 38 million people who'd have to agree, plus US Congress. Good luck with that. Is this a serious fix or just Trump stirring the pot? What do you think? Could this ever fly? Next, Trump's flexing with tariffs, hinting at 25% or 50% on Canadian goods. He's mad about their trade moves, like 270% tariffs on US dairy, crazy high, meant to shield their farmers. He says we don't need their cars, lumber, or energy. We're that big. But would Canada buckle under tariff threats? Here's the deal. 75% of their exports, billions, come to us. A 50% tariff could tank their economy. Scary? Sure. But scared enough to join the US? Nah. They'd fight back, slap tariffs on us like they did in 2018 with steel and whiskey, or pivot to Europe and China. They've got options. Trump says they're nasty negotiators. Tough? Sure. But taking advantage? Past presidents like Obama and Bush saw this too. Canada's dairy system's been a fight since the 90s. They pushed deals like NAFTA, not annexation. Were they dumb or just smarter? Could tariffs force Canada's hand, or would they call the bluff? So, what's Trump really up to? He's painting Canada as a freeloader. We spend too much, they lean on us. But the US gets cheap oil, auto parts, and more from them. Our economies are tangled. Ripping that apart would hurt both sides. He's right that Canada negotiates hard. Dairy, lumber, it's old news, but taking advantage feels stretched when trade's this close. And the 51st state idea? It's not new. Trump's riffed on it for years, but it's more flex than plan. Canada's not trembling, begging to join us. They'd rather scrap than surrender. So, is Trump onto something real, or just tossing out big numbers and bigger ideas to shake things up? Let's ask, do you think Canada's been gaming us for years? Could tariffs or subsidies really redraw the map? Or is this all noise from a guy who loves the spotlight? That's the full story, folks. From Trump's wild claims to the hard truth, we've got a $200 billion mystery, a statehood fantasy, and a tariff showdown that's more bark than bite. Canada's not just a neighbor, they're a player. So, what's your take? Is Trump genius, chaotic, or somewhere in between? Drop your thoughts below. We're reading, everyone. This is The Pulse Unraveled. Thanks for diving in with us. Hit subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.